So as I told you in previous video, that is there are strong electrolytes and weak electrolytes are there, but for weak electrolytes we cannot find out the exact conductance at infinite dilution. So for weak electrolytes, if you see weak electrolytes, if you decrease the concentration, the increases the conductance, equivalent conductance, but we cannot find out at infinite dilution. There is no infinite dilution in this law. So here if you see the applications of application of Kohlrausch law. So application of Kohlrausch law, very important. Kohlrausch law. So application of the Kohlrausch law, first application is to determine, these are weak electrolytes, right? This is a weak electrolyte, that means degree of dissociation alpha, that means alpha is equals to number of particles dissociated or associated by number of particles taken, that is called alpha, that is degree of dissociation. This is 100%, that means alpha is equals to 1, that means it is 100% dissociation takes place, that means it completely ionizes. But weak electrolyte, alpha is not equals to 1, it is less than 1, alpha is less than 1. So here if you see applications of the Kohlrausch law to determine lambda naught or lambda infinite dilution of weak electrolyte, that means lambda infinity at CS3 COOH is equals to lambda of infinity of CS3 COO minus plus lambda infinity of H plus. So this is independent of the different various ions are present. So we can find out the infinity of the CS3 COO minus plus, I can write this one with the strong electrolytes Na plus lambda infinity of H plus lambda infinity of Cl minus. So when I add the weak electrolyte to the weak electrolyte, if I add the sodium chloride, then that also dissociate into 100%. If I remove these values of the Na plus and infinity of Cl minus, then I will get the same thing here. So if I write this one CS3 COONA, this is the buffer solution. So here, and lambda infinity of HCl minus lambda infinity of this is the NaCl. So this is the, if lambda naught values, that means ionic conductance of the strong electrolytes is given, then we can find out the lambda infinite dilution conductance of the equivalent conductance of the CS3COOH at infinite dilution. We can find out by using the various ionic conductance. So this is the first application of the applications of the Kohlrausch law. And next application is to determine, second is to determine degree of dissociation, degree of dissociation, that is alpha and dissociation constant K of weak electrolyte, So this is the weak electrolyte. So if you take the alpha, degree of dissociation is directly proportional to the equivalent conductance. So if you take the alpha 1 by alpha 2 is equals to lambda C1 by lambda C2. So if C2 tends to 0, then alpha 2 tends to 1, means it is a strong electrolyte in general. So in general, if I substitute the lambda 2 is equals to 1, then alpha 2 tends to 1, that means alpha is equals to lambda, that is infinite dilution, lambda C. Alpha 2 tends to 1 at C2, concentration will be 0. So here concentration will be 0. What is the meaning of this? I can represent with the graphical method. So here generally what will happen, concentration is decreases. At some point the concentration is reaches to 0. So this point we call it as infinite dilution of this lambda C. If I write infinite dilution, this is the concentration. So concentration is going to be 0. That means I am started my solution reaction with the 1 molar, and it is decreasing and it is going to 0. That means it is infinite dilution. Then alpha 2 value will be 1. That means it is a dilution, 100% dissociation taking place. So 100% dissociation is taking place here. In general it is alpha is equals to lambda C by lambda at infinity. This is very important, very important relationship between the degree of dissociation. Here this is the degree of dissociation, it is degree of dissociation, and here it is the equivalent conductance at concentration. So some concentration at some concentration, and this is at equivalent conductance at infinite dilution. So for weak electrolyte, we know for weak electrolyte, for case 1 it is case 1, that is a weak electrolyte is weak acid, then weak acid, how it will be breaking, how will it break? So CH3COH, let us assume there is a equilibrium present, because it cannot be dissociate completely, it form the H plus ions. So here first is here 1 mole, if you take it is 0 at equilibrium. Let's assume this is C concentration you took. So here it is the C alpha, here it is forming, and here it is C alpha is forming. So I can remove C minus C alpha, then C alpha. So Ka is the acid dissociation constant. So Ka is equals to C alpha into C alpha by C minus C alpha. So this is a C square alpha square by, if I take a common C will get cancelled, then C alpha square by 1 minus alpha. So here I am writing here. So Ka is equals to C alpha square. Next C alpha square, that means we know that alpha is equals to, so here Ka is equals to C alpha square, alpha is equals to, since here alpha is equals to, if you write the alpha is equals to lambda C by lambda infinite, this is the lambda is equals to lambda C by lambda infinity. So acid dissociation constant, it is a acid dissociation constant. So H plus, I can write it as C alpha. So H plus is equals to pH is equals to minus log of H plus. So from these are all the relationships of the electric conductance and the solution, electric conductor solutions and acid base solutions. So next, if you take the case 2, if you take the case 2, if it is, if weak electrolyte is weak base, so in that case Kb is equals to C alpha square and is equals to C into lambda C by lambda infinity whole square. So OH minus is equals to C alpha and POH is equals to minus log of OH concentration. So this is the relationship between the pH and POH. Next thing is to determine the solubility product of the sparingly soluble salts. So we can find out the solubility product of the for sparingly soluble salt, sparingly soluble salt. For this sparingly soluble salts, in the case of sparingly soluble salts, only a small part of the salt is soluble in water. For sparingly soluble salt, it is lambda C is equals to lambda infinity. That means if you see the lambda C is equals to lambda infinity, so lambda C is equals to K into 1000 by N. So here lambda C is equals to lambda infinity. And here if you take the lambda infinity is equals to K into 1000 by N, K into 1000 by N. So N is equals to K into 1000 by lambda infinity. N is equals to lambda infinity. Here lambda infinity calculated by using Kohlraasch law. So here lambda infinity we can calculated by using Kohlraasch law. For the normality, molarity also we can calculate. Molarity is equals to M, that is the concentration. Yes, that is mole per liter, that is moles per liter. So here KSP is equals to x to the power of x into y to the power of y into sparingly soluble salts x to the power of x plus y. So here this is the sparingly soluble salts. So similarly mu C is equals to mu infinity, that is equals to K into 1000 by M. So here also KSP is equals to x to the power of x into y to the power of y into s to the power of x plus y. So this is about the molar conductance and equivalent conductance. Here specific conductance is additive in nature for salt solution. So specific conductance for strong electrolyte, salt is greater than the K values. So here this is the total electrochemistry part 1.